Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a Photoshop video. As you know, I'm a graphic artist and this is like my job every day. I work in InDesign and Photoshop. I build ads for a living and I'm really proud of myself with the quality of cuts that I do. Cuts being like cutting things out, people or animals or whatever, cutting them out of their background. I'm always like really proud of like having a nice clean cut, trying to keep it as natural as possible. And in this particular ad, so like our local hospital just got bought out by another company and the hospital name is changing, and so is their marketing direction, right? And the girl who works there, she's been there for a couple of years, and I'm assuming is not used to cutting people out because I noticed quite a few mistakes in this ad. Normally, their advertising was just like finding nice stock photos of families and then just using the pictures of the family untouched and then adding the message that the hospital wanted to portray in that particular ad. And then, of course, their logo, their information, and their phone number, stuff like that. But with this new company, I guess they're taking it in a whole new direction because the last 3 ads we've gotten have looked very similar, and they have cut out families with these colorful circles behind them. And we used them in our magazine. We were rushing toward the end because we were just waiting. These were one of the last ads we were waiting on, and I popped those suckers in, and boom, we sent that magazine off to print. Well, we're selling for a TV guide right now, and my boss says, hey, the hospital wants to use one of the ads from the magazine. Can you resize it to fit in our TV guide as a full page? I said, sure. And I go to pull it up, and that's when I noticed the mistakes. And I said, oh, because now I'm having to resize this ad, right? I have to cut it all up, make essentially like a vertical rectangle fit into a perfect square. And so I'm in Photoshop and I'm looking at it and I'm like, dang man, this chick's cut job is jagged, it's awful. And you can tell what she did. I'm gonna say I think she used the subject selection feature with the newer Photoshop software. It comes with like the subject selection feature. You click it and it's supposed to detect the subject in the photo, select it, and you could just delete the background. A lot of people also use the wand tool. I don't think she used the wand tool only because her edges are soft and see-through and not jagged and harsh. And there are ways that you can make a jagged edge look soft by using a selection like mask and adjusting like the feathering and the smoothness of it. But this wasn't the case in this situation. Like, I really think she just thought, oh, I'm going to subject select and boom, be done with it. And the problem with that is obviously you get some really messed up edges. And if you're not being careful, it can, delete part of your subject as well. Like, part of this woman's cheek was missing, part of her forehead was missing, her whole upper lip was gone. The bottom of her chin was cut off completely. Little girl's toe was missing. Part of her little toes were missing. The little boy's foot, like one of his feet, was see-through on half of it. And the whole side of his head and his ear was see-through, missing. You can see the circle color right through him, And I said, man, I can't, now that I've seen it, like I can't let it go to print like this. So I just started cleaning it up. And I figured since I was doing that, I had learned how to screen record on the Mac. And so I screen recorded the process and then we transferred the video to myself. It was like an hour-long video. And it did. It took me like 48 minutes to clean this family up. And then emailed it to myself, and I thought, well, I'll just trim it up and speed it up and turn it into a video because it could be a great learning tool for someone who also uses Photoshop, or maybe just a satisfying video for someone to watch if they're into that stuff, But I mean, it's my daily life, so I figured I'd share it on my YouTube channel, you know. But anyways, so yeah, started with the woman's hair, clean the edges up with that, using selection tools to grab it, delete it, and then a lot of this I used the cloning tool to grab like parts of the photo. Like say I'm working on the hair, I'm grabbing parts of another part of her hair and I'm cloning it in the section that I'm working, and then when I deselect, I would clean up the edges of that too, so that it's not jagged and noticeable. And I did that with her cheek. I did that with her forehead, you know. The lip was a little tricky because of the coloring of it. I ended up grabbing the color of the inside of the little boy's ear to make her lip, and then a little bit from her cheeks. And then with her chin, I had to redraw the chin so it was a little more natural looking and not just like a straight, you know, vertical straight down cut. I did have to color in some of the circles to fix those up as well. And for the little girl's toes, same thing. I just made, I just grabbed the color of her feet and so that it matched the tone of each toe. And I just started working them in the way toes are shaped. She was actually the easiest one because it was only her feet that were messed up. The rest of her looked okay. And then for the dad, a lot of his was just the edges of his pants, his sleeves, a little bit of his forehead. Right where his armpit was, there was a chunk of the background still there, so, you know, deleted that out. I did have to redraw his sleeve cuff, so grabbing, obviously, using the clone tool again, grabbing part of his sleeve and painting that in. And then the boy's head, I had to reconstruct the side of his face. Well, it was not the whole side of his face, but like the edge of his face where it's like touching the circle. Totally redo his ear. And I was once again using colors from the other ear in order to fix that ear up. And I was mostly using the brush tool on that. A little bit of the clone tool, but a lot of it was the brush tool. And just trying to get it to look nice and neat. I wish I had noticed it when the magazine was running because I would have fixed it up then. Because obviously magazine print is more crystal clear than newspaper print. But I'm glad that I caught it when I did it anyways because it is fixed now, you know. And that girl, even though like this is probably her first time ever really having to work with cutting people out, she'll get it over time, you know. I learned a lot of what I do. I would say like 99% of what I do on YouTube. You know, there's some great Photoshop YouTubers. They have wonderful tips and tricks, and I learn something new every day. You know, I've been at this job for 9 years, and I'm still learning new stuff every day. Not just in Photoshop, but in InDesign as well. And yeah, like, I love it. I love what I do. I love cutting people out, and I've gotten so much better at like hair. I'm still not perfect. I'm still not 100% there, but hair is getting better. And when it comes to, you know, cuts, like there's different ways to do things, you know. A lot of people, like I said, they'll use like the wand tool or they use the subject selector, but I try not to do that. I use the quick mask option, and I'll go in and I'll trace with my mouse like the edges of the subject so that it has a nice smooth, really, really close, and I try to get it as close to the edge of the person, excuse me, as possible. And you know, just color them all in and stuff, and then, you know, delete the background out that way. I just feel like you get a cleaner cut when you do it that way. And yeah, it takes longer, you know, but the quality of your work, it means something, you know. I look at our old magazines back when editorial was working them and cutting people out and stuff, and I look at them and they're so jagged. They're so jagged, and it's embarrassing. It's like, this is our product and people are paying money for it, and why do you want to send something out like that? You know, of course we're going to lose subscribers if our magazine looks like it's all janky and poor quality, you know. So, and then especially when it comes to the advertising, like, why would anybody want to buy an ad from us if we can't make their ad look nice, you know? So yeah, there's that. But anyway, I just thought I'd share the video, and I wish I was more eloquent with my words. I know like a lot of those Photoshop YouTubers, like they get all technical and they're like really eloquent the way they speak, and they're so knowledgeable, and I've never really been that way. For me, it's easier to stand next to you and show you what to do versus like just trying to explain it words alone. But hopefully, you know, like I said in the beginning of this video, maybe someone will find this educational in some way or another, or if anything, just entertaining. Or not. I don't know. You don't have to watch the video if you don't want to. I'm not making you do it. So yeah. Alright, well, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.